The swimming pool has remained the same for years now. This is what it currently looks like, and this right here is my redesign. I redesigned this for a different video where I redesigned different main map locations. You can click the card in the top right, or just wait till the end of the video or something else like that to get the full video of me redesigning some map locations. But I went ahead and redesigned some new locations. So in today's video, we're gonna take a look at that, talk about the process a little bit, and my thoughts and stuff like that on why I designed them the way I did. There are definitely locations that still need a redesign. They have actually gone through and redesigned the pumpkin patch by just removing the pumpkin patch and replacing it with a strawberry patch. So hopefully at some point, maybe the developers will see this video and take these redesigns to heart as well and give us a new, better version of things like the carrot farm and the barrel storage and things like that I did in the last video. But for this video, let's take a look at some locations that need to be redesigned. First up is this little pond right here, which I always interpreted as a fountain, and that's what I wanted it to be, so that's what we're going to be redesigning here first. And the process for it was actually pretty simple. Just like last time, I made sure all of the dimensions and things like that were correct so that it would be the exact same, and then I went ahead and started designing it. And this is what I came up with. This is my fountain. There are a couple of things to note. One is that these wooden seats may not necessarily have to be wood. There also wouldn't be an obvious stripe in the middle because as a developer, you could just make a really long wooden seat here instead of this right here. Another thing to note is the little poinsettias in the middle of these decorative bushes and stuff like that. That could either be its own unique flower. It also could be layered much better and things like that. And of course, everything else also could be layered much better, including the water. As you can see, you can actually still see some of the cliff edges here. That would not be a thing. And again, just like with the wood seats, these stone counters right here, you would not be able to see a stripe through here because as a developer, you could just create a extra long counter for this. You also wouldn't even necessarily have to use the counter space. You could just use a completely new sprite for the fountain. And that's kind of what the idea for this little middle is right here. The rock circles just kind of felt like it made sense, but I really don't think they should be like actual rocks, obviously. And then of course we have some kind of statue in the middle. I don't think the statuette would be the ideal thing here, but you could technically use it. And of course, some amount of water that is animating coming out of the fountain because it is meant to be a fountain, right? And of course, the area around it is also improved. We have like this little fence right here that has some rose bushes and some lavenders. This could be nice because there's really not a whole lot of these on the map, I don't think, the lavender bushes anyway. We also have like this little gardening thing up here so that the people that, you know, I guess run the town or something, city council, I don't know, they come through here and they prune the flowers and trim the bushes and things like that. And so they have some tools here to take care of it and also plant flowers around it. As you can see, there's some here and a soil bag. I do think that maybe there could still be one more light source somewhere. I'm really not 100% sure where to include that light source. I suppose you could, as a developer, just put a lantern on top of one of these counters or something like that. But these counters would also double as space for the player to place things on, just like how they can place stuff in front of benches and things like that on the main map. They could now place them on these counters by just clicking on it and the item appears there. They could also, of course, do it on the floor in front of these benches here as well. Here is the new version, and here is the old version, or rather the current version that it is. It's honestly super cluttered, and that was something that I wanted to try to avoid in this as well because it's so cluttered. I think maybe the reason why it's so cluttered around the pool of water is because they don't want you to go in that water because it's meant to be like a fountain or something like that. But I honestly have no idea what's going on with this because there's just so many objects. There's bushes here, there's bushes here, bushes here, bushes here, rocks, and then when you actually can kind of get in the water, there's rocks and lily pads and these pink lilies here that also have a lot of colliders. This is just a collider mess. These benches are also not super great. They're not like, I don't know, it just doesn't work. But by replacing them with benches that are essentially built into the fountain, it is so much better, and I personally love this a million times more. Let me know in the comments below what you think of it. But let's move on to the patio because the patio is also a little bit of a mess currently. You have 3 fruit boxes for some reason, 3 of them. There's one here, and one here. I don't know why they have so many fruit boxes. It's just kind of a mess that way. They have a lot of tables here, which is totally fine. This table specifically also appears to be missing a seat for some reason, which is a weird thing on its own. And then you have like a random cake over here and random muffins over here, and I don't know. It just feels very weird and not really well thought out. It just seems like a placeholder, so to speak, because it seems like things just aren't in the right place. But here is the old version, or rather the current version, and here is my new and improved version of everything, of the patio. We now have this little stone archway to get into this place. There's a bench right out here. I kind of technically did less seats because I did only 2 tables, but I did do 1 long table right here, which I think would be really good or really cool if it was like built into the counters, or rather built into this stone hedge thing right here. I think it would look really cool, but this just is fine on its own. Obviously, I think all of them would just be like a default red or something like that, but I think having it be like a rainbow right here would be kind of nice. These are much better now too because they're cushioned, and rather than being log seats. The tables are a little bit tricky to do because obviously on the party island we can't really do stuff on tables, but I had a rose vase right here that also fit pretty well, and this right here is my favorite part. I made the sandbox a little bit bigger. As you can see here, it's not quite as big. It's only like 2 tiles, and then it's like kind of long, but I made it 3 tiles instead. So there's more room in here so more people can sit in the sandbox together at the same time. You have a shovel in here where they're messing with the sand. It's not covered with like weeds and bushes for some reason, which is just a weird thing that the original one had. There's a little bit of a step right here with these sticks. But the big thing here is this little fire pit right here. I think this is great. I would love to see something like this. It doesn't have to look exactly like this because they could just do their own original sprite for this, obviously. But this is just a fire pit. Like just like a little round or square fire pit with fire in it, and then I use little marshmallows as charcoal. Obviously this would just be actual charcoal rather than marshmallows, so you couldn't just pick them out and eat them, but I think it would look really cool, especially if it was like an original sprite rather than this. And then of course there's some seating right here. It would be a nice spot to sit if you were like a parent waiting for your kid to finish playing in the sandbox or something. You know, it could be kind of a nice thing like that. And of course I included the food because I had to. I mean, it just felt weird that the food was there. I wanted to incorporate it anyway. I just put them all in like the same location so you can get them all in the same place. I also included the party box because this really feels like a place to kind of celebrate and to hang out at, and it made sense to have a party box here because you can get some sparklers or some of these. It just really feels like a nice place to celebrate and hang out, and legitimately if it looked like this rather than this right here, I would definitely be hanging out there more often. I didn't really extend out any at all. I think I technically did a little bit with the sandbox, but according to this original map here, there is space for the sandbox to extend out this way, so it definitely would be able to fit here. So there's no spacing issues, but again, this bench feels like it belongs because there's like nothing right here. It's like kind of bland or like blank right here, and it still felt like that even though I replaced the fences with these hedges. And honestly, the bench just made a lot of sense here, so I included the bench there. But let me know in the comments below what you think of the new and improved patio. Next up, we have the flower pen, the bunny pen, whatever you want to call it. This area is usually filled with flowers during summer and spring, and during winter, it's just snow and ice basically, and during fall it's just whatever this is. Very bland, very blank, whatever. But now during summer and spring it looks like this, covered in flowers. We have some bee boxes over here on the left with some beehives as well, some honey here. Obviously it's not actually honey, it's just like the weird jar, the yellow colored jar thing. And then we have over here, we have a bunny pen, and this, ladies and gentlemen, this is my favorite thing about this redesign. Obviously, the bees are really cool. You can have those like come around. They'll be everywhere during the day and stuff like that, and then at night they come back to their hives or whatever. During like fall and winter, they're just always in there and they never come out or something like that. That could be kind of cool and everything. But the bunnies is my favorite thing because during the day, they come out of this pen right here. They frolic, they do whatever, and then they come up to this little carrot patch right here, and they dig into the carrot patch and eat and nibble on a carrot or something like that, and then continue to wander around, and then maybe they come up to the water buckets later or something like that, and then they drink out of it or something. It would be the cutest thing ever, and it gets even better because during the nighttime, the bunnies stop frolicking, they stop playing in the flowers and everything like that, and they make their way into the pen, sit down, and then, of course, they go to sleep. And it would be the cutest thing ever because you could like watch them sleep at night. Maybe sometimes they like wake up or something like that, and they're like, huh? like they got like they had a bad dream or something, and then they go back to sleep. It would be the cutest thing ever. And then of course during the day again, they would all wake up and they would make their way out of the bunny pen and continue to frolic, and then of course come over here and eat sometimes and everything like that. It would be so cute and amazing, and that is the biggest thing with this, because redoing the flower pen is honestly really difficult because it's just flowers during basically all year round with a bunch of bunnies in it for some reason. Including this as like a little corner right here, there's still a huge amount of space everywhere. I think it just works so well. And of course I didn't even really do anything to the fence or really much to the outside. I included some roses and stuff like that because I felt like I needed to do at least something else. Obviously, this pin would look much better too because they could use their own original sprites and things could layer properly. The player wouldn't be able to get into the pin or anything like that because it would have a collider and everything, but it's a whole thing. There would also be some gardening stuff up here and some jars so that they're using for the honey up here, and of course a well too so that they can get so that you could refill the bunny's water source and stuff like that. It would be so cute and so fun. And again, this doesn't really take up any more unnecessary space. It's still using about the same amount of space as this. But let's move on to the last change, because the last one is the best one. I saved it for a reason, because I've focused on the beach before, and I've talked about this location many times before in the past. It's been the same since the beach came out, and it's just a mess. What exactly is this location? What are they trying to accomplish with this? They have a nice row of like seats and chairs and things like that right here, but you know, it's whatever. It's not exactly the best, but it still works because it still feels like something you would find on a beach. But this location directly above it, what the heck is going on here? There are several tables here, coconuts everywhere, barrels everywhere. These bushes seem out of control. You got a random cookie table here for some reason, and a fruit box. The fruit box I can understand a little bit, but the cookie table? What is this cookie table doing here? What is all of this doing here? What the heck is this location? Well, I decided to redesign it, and I got this right here. This is a much better version of whatever the heck that was. This is essentially a pirate ship that is like kind of a touristy thing. It's like not actually like a proper pirate ship. You have some portholes here. I should probably explain this weird cauldron thing first. This is just a placeholder for a cannon. Obviously, I can't make a cannon in the party island, so I just did the cauldron plus this weird log right here. So just pretend that this is a cannon and it's pointing out towards the porthole here. I think it would look great if it was a cannon there. Obviously, it doesn't look too great like this, but just pretend that that's what's there. But and focus more on everything else, because we have two entrances. We can come in right here, and we can come in from the this side right here. You can come in. There's be treasure here. I use like mushrooms and stuff, but obviously it could be like actual treasure, like actual like bits and doubloons or whatever. Some crystals too, because that also feels like a very piratey thing to have. And then of course we have like a hidden clamshell in there and some skull and crossbones and stuff, and a little table here where you can actually purchase your coconut drinks and also your weird red drinks. Maybe they're blood, maybe they're not. We have some cucumber barrels and a fruit box here and a bunch of storage right here that could just be whatever. The coal box would be replaced with a new item, the cannonball box. It'd just be full of cannonballs and stuff like that. So that could be kind of a fun thing as well. And of course you have a spot right here to pretend to be the cashier at whatever this weird gift shop drink place is, and it would be nice. We have some netting up here in the top right. It would be nice to have whatever those weird glass ball things are up there hanging. I usually see those with pirate ship decor and things like that. This little thing right here also feels like it fits perfectly in here. I was able to keep the barrels, and of course we have some sand kind of sneaking into this building here because people are coming in and out of like the beach area and stuff like that. I even included some of the benches on the outside that they had here. They had 3 originally, and I basically just removed this middle one and moved the seats so that they're now on the left and right, and the seats are now directly in front of them instead of here, so that you can actually get into this building here. We have a little area right here for you to kind of wash your hooves or whatever. You find those at the beach all of the time. That's a normal thing to find on beaches. This is just honestly so much better than what is currently there, because what the heck is this? What is this? It's also a mess of colliders and stuff like that. Going and navigating through this is a nightmare because like you can technically kind of fit through here, but then you can't get through here or something like that. It's just a mess. You can't really squeeze through here very well. and also what the heck is going on here. I think we could get, for the first time ever, like a proper long bamboo table for this location here, and I think just in general it would be much better than whatever the original is. But let me know what you think in the comments below, because we're all done here. I did most of these during, well, I think I did technically all of these remakes during different live streams on my channel. So if you want to see some live streams, you should subscribe and turn on notifications for, you know, videos and live streams and things like that, because I live stream every now and then. You can also join my Discord server. I usually ping everyone when I go to live stream and stuff. I've been streaming more often this year than I have in previous years and times and stuff like that, because I've been trying to raise money for my wedding, which is going to happen in about 150 days now. So we're getting close to the time limit there. We're getting close to the day, and it's sneaking up on me a little bit. So hopefully you'll help support the channel and help support me and come to some live streams and things like that, so you can watch me build things like this and also do Minecraft and other things that I don't normally do for videos. But that's all I got for you. Please do consider liking, subscribing, sharing, and doing all of those wonderful things like that, because when you do wonderful things like that, not only do you get access to wonderful content such as this, but you also get to become wonderful yourself, and I think we all want that. So do those wonderful things, and until next time, stay wonderful.